그럼 니도 호스트인가? 부자구나. 호스트인가?
Aha. Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Ini sudah jadi dalam buku. Bugün komisya azalar mesleği transfer için komisya bazılarının bazıları kuruluşlarından doktorluk yapmıştır. PhD, medicine pasaport kuruluşu, ofis alanına. Bundan ki noksan Ravas Nurşamaratmış, noksan likatüsü Belga Institut'ta, Latsiyende PhD. O Kiyunga komisya azamız Kalifiyen ve Firuza Firuza Latsiyende PhD, noksan likatüsü Belga Institut'ta şekilde kafedrası nasıl? Kiyunga komisya azamız Yusuf Basar'ın nazarına Karalpak Memleket İnstitut'ta Akademiyalı Lise Eşitliğe Kafedrası hükümü kurmuştu. Hem Kiyunga azamız Kudaybergen Basakura Polat'ına PhD İngiliz Dili Bölümü Kafedrası asistenti Latsiyende pozisyonunu almıştı. Hem üzerinizde yine kafedra basılımız Boldasla Kalpar'da birine PhD İngiliz Dili Bölümü Kafedrası basıldı Latsiyende. Hop, bugünkü hemen Firulani Belircumsun Horboşlarına katılabiliriz. Hem basılmak.
Good morning, dear professors, teachers, and our undergraduate students. Let me start today's special qualification thesis defense. Our first defender is Sabirova Malahat Madamin kızı. Her work is collaborative writing in English classroom. Her scientific advisor is candidate of philological science, Dilbar Tajmuratovna Hajiyeva, docent. So you can start.
Az gibi az benim.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sabirova Malahat Madamin. My scientific advisor, Hajiyeva Dilbar Tajmuratovna. Today I am going to talk about collaborative writing in English classroom. As we all know, writing is one of the most powerful tools in communication. It helps us develop imagination, critical thinking, and creativity. And when it is done collaboratively, it brings even more benefits to the learning process. The skill of the writing, one of the most effective tools of the communication. It helps develop imagination and critical thinking abilities, and is often the sign of an education. The actuality of the work in the current stage of education reform. Writing is considered one of the most important skills in mastering a foreign language. Increasing students' motivation in writing lessons has become one of the most actual and urgent issues in foreign language teaching. The aim of the work is investigate effective motivational strategies in teaching, writing, and give practical recommendations to teachers and learners on how to make writing lessons more engaging and productive. The object of the work is the process of teaching English writing in secondary and higher educational institutions. The following tasks are fulfilled during the investigation to study the role of the motivation in foreign language learners, uh, to classify types of motivation and their influence on the writing skills, to offer sample tasks and activities for motivating students during writing processes. The subject of the qualification thesis is the use of motivation strategies in teaching writing in English as a foreign language classrooms. In a history of the writing systems develop and change based of the needs of the people who use them. Many tools and writing materials used throughout history include: what is collaborative writing? Activities involved in the production of a documentary by more than one author. Collaborative writing in classroom means children working together to accomplish a task or to teach to achieve a certain goal. Uh, Collaborative writing exercises such as peer review workshops, collaborative research assignments, group presentations, group papers, and discussion groups. Uh, we use collaborative writing. Collaboration helps students understand writing a public communal act rather than a private isolated trait. Mm. Collaboration gives students practice in analyzing writing. Collaboration develops oral communication skills. Collaboration encourages students to talk about their writing. Collaborative writing strategies. A number of authors have written on the subject, and each other have slightly different views on the strategies of collaborative writing. According to there are five collaborative writing strategies: single author writing, single writing, parallel writing, reactive writing, and mixed modes. It is tools for collaborative writing. It is important to point out that to be able to use collaborative writing in classroom, we need suitable tools, very powerful software tools. In this regard are wikis, online platforms mainly focus on collaborative fictions that allow other users to continue a story narrative. Collaborative real-time editors like Headpack, Google Docs, Microsoft Office, wikis like Wikipedia, and TV tropes. Peer learning or peer instruction. It is type of collaborative writing that involves students working in peers or small groups of to discuss concepts and find solutions to problems. This is often occurs in a class session after students are introduced to course materials, readings and videos before class and instruction lectures. Collaborative activities are most often based on four principles. Four principles. The learner or student is primary focus instruction. Working in a groups in an important mode of learning. Structures approach to developing solutions and real world problems should be incorporated into learning. Interaction and doing are of primary importance. Steps of collaborative process, pre-writing process, planning and logistics, research, data collection, and drafting and writing, revising and proofreading, and others.
Is it your
Ways
second chapter? Is it your second chapter? Second chapter? Or first?
second.
Conclusion?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh, Conclusion. Finally, collaborative writing makes students more conscious of their own writing process and styles as they debate strategies and sentence. Students must uh, defend their choices, and they also come to see other possible ways of expressing their ideas. Um, in our research work, we have successfully achieved our set aims, exactly saying student theories of collaborative writing. Investigated the fair methods for collaborative writing, data collections, and data analysis we conducted.
Okay, thank you for your presentation.
You, in your work, you try you learned about the ways of some ways of making collaborative writing successful. What kind of ways do you know that makes collaborative writing successful? Is the question clear? Sorumsuz mu? Yeah. Ways of making collaborative writing successful.
Ways of making cooperative writing successful, determine your purpose, assign writing tasks and other duties, choose a team leader, analyze your audience, and establish a schedule of deadlines for drafts and revisions.
Thank you for the answer.
And for whom is it effective? For what kind of learners? Okay, the next question. Where did you implement your research?
What about you, Nathalie? Okay, thank you for your presentation. Thank you. Review on the special qualification thesis on the theme collaborative writing in English classroom. In my opinion, the present special qualification thesis meets the necessary academic requirements and may be recommended for defense. Review given by a Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, docent Shalvas Nurjan Maratov. Our next presenter is Sultan Muradova Yıldız Bahtiyar, with her scientific work Constructive Feedback as Motivation in Teaching English. Her scientific advisor is candidate of Philological Science Dilbar Tacimuradovna Hacıyeva, Associate Professor of English Linguistics Department of Karakalpak State University.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sultan Murad Yıldız, and my scientific advisor is Dilbar Tacimuradovna Hacıyeva. So our topic is constructive feedback as motivation in teaching English. And today I'm going to talk about the role of constructive feedback in English and in teaching English. So, introduction. The aim of this qualification paper is to define the role of constructive feedback as motivation in teaching speaking skills. According to the general aim, the practical tasks are put forward. First of all, to define the notional feedback, to study nature of errors and ways dealing with them, to investigate types of feedback, to become familiar with assessing speaking, and to analyze ways of error correction in speaking, and last one is to analyze feedback methods. The object of this investigation is feedback types given by teachers to students' oral production. Structure of the work. Structure of the work. The given qualification paper consists of introduction, 2 chapter, conclusion, and bibliography, which are followed by the list of literature used in the course of it. And introduction tells about aim of the research, methods used in the course of it, and it explains its actuality, novelty, practical, and scientific value. Chapter 2 deals with the survey of linguistic literature, general and special problems of role of constructive feedback in teaching speaking skills. Chapter 2, in the practical part, analysis how to develop speaking skills through positive feedback. We have tried to investigate psychological and linguistic facts which determine the feedback types. And feedback types, lexical or task-based approach, findings of task-based approach, and results of the data. And finally, conclusion. Conclusion presents the analysis of this qualification paper. Next, actuality of this investigation paper is explained by, on the one hand, by profound interest, the role of constructive feedback in teaching speaking skills. On the other hand, the effective ways of giving feedback in teaching speaking. And theoretical background of constructive feedback as motivation in teaching. Sangster and overall are of the opinion that feedback is one of the most powerful influence on learning and achievement, but this impact can be either positive or negative. The emotional impact that assessment has on learners plays an important role in their achievement. Theoretical background of constructive motivation as constructive feedback as motivation. Constructive feedback, given or received, plays a critical role in teaching. We shouldn't allow fear to prevent us employing feedback in our daily activities. Providing feedback in a structured, constructive manner can help minimize fear and maximize its utility as an educational tool. Constructive feedback can be used as a tool for high-quality learning. The feedback process may act a useful tool for learning, and this kinds of feedback enhance their not only students' growth but also their academic performance. Constructive feedback increases self-awareness, offers options, and encourages development. In the practical part, we studied addressed the following question: what are the Krakow State University English Linguistics students' attitudes and perceptions with regard to the effects of positive feedback on the quality of their oral output? The participants of this study were composed of third-year students of 303 group in the Krakow State University. And these students ranging from 18 and 24 years old. And students were asked to indicate their agreement or disagreement with different four statements. Response options were coded on 5-point scales, and from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Table, and we have a tables, and this table presents the results of statistics. The results indicated a positive attitude towards feedback as one strategy as one strategy developing feedback. Most of the students not only enhance their communication skills, but also enhance their people skills. For example, they share their thoughts or ideas independently during lively discussions. The results of this study suggested a positive and favorable attitude toward error correction and positive feedback, illustrated positive effects of on the quality of Karakalpak students' oral output. The findings of this study provide developing clear understanding students' perceptions and their behaviors towards constructive feedback, error correction during the class. And conclusion: in our research, we successfully achieved our sets. Exactly saying we have tried to investigate types of feedback and explains its importance and types of these feedbacks, and identified the relationship between assessing speaking and giving feedback to students speaking. Investigate the fair methods for providing constructive feedback as motivation, data collection, and data analysis. Data analysis were conducted, and finally, with my teacher, we successfully achieved to enhance students' perceptions and understand more their perceptions and behaviors during the class.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank you making such a good presentation of speech, which made us to listen carefully to your presentation. Okay, and you in your presentation you have given the definition to the feedback. That's what is feedback. What is a constructive feedback? And you have mentioned about the 6 ways that makes the constructive feedback. Yes, constructive. Can you mention about these 6 ways?
First of all, constructive feedback is a kind of feedback giving feedbacks in a positive way to students to enhance their students' self-awareness, maybe and
Willingness.
yes. And 6 steps for providing constructive feedback. First one is to focus on their behaviors rather than judgment. Focus on their observation is more important than judgment, and this kinds of things.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it was what kind of criteria do the learners follow while giving or receiving feedback? Constructive.
Okay.
Criteria.
Criteria during the class. During our class, we set for 8-hour session from listening and speaking, and our criteria. First of all, we explain feedback types, and during the class, students prepare different kinds of PPT presentations and things like that. And our criteria in our research, we have a table and questionnaire. These kinds of questions to help us to determine their perceptions their agreement or disagreement from strongly agree to strongly disagree.
That's all, yes? Okay, thank you.
Review of this bachelor qualification places on the same constructive feedback as motivation in teaching English. While the work is thoroughly researched and clearly written, one area for improvement would be the inclusion of more statistical analysis and visual representation of the questionnaire results. In summary, the present qualification paper fully meets the requirements for a bachelor's degree and is worthy of high academic appraisal. I recommend it for defense with a high mark. Review given by Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, docent Alanizar Karim. Our next presenter is Urazbayeva Nadira Abdullah. With her scientific work, some peculiarities of using effective reading strategies for Karkalpak intermediate students. Her scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, Sadat Bazarima Bakhtiari.
Dear respected commission members, teachers and guests, good day. I'm Urazbayeva Nadira and today I'm honored to present the results of my diploma research, some features of using effective reading strategies for parallel intermediate students. And my scientific advisor is Sadat Bazarima Bakhtiari. So, introduction. In our modern educational context, reading is not just basic skill, but and critical title tool for academic and personal growth. However, many intermediate level students in Pakistan face difficulties with reading skills. These challenges include limited exposure to English texts, lack of training in reading strategies, and cultural linguistic differences. Recognizing this, my research aims to explore how effective reading strategies can enhance reading comprehension among Karkalpak intermediate learners. So, aim and objectives. The main aim of our research is that identify effective reading strategy and implement the important results in reading classes. The key objectives of my work are to review the theoretical background of reading and its types. Second, to distinguish between reading skills and strategies, to explore methods of teaching strategies, to offer practical classroom recommendations. Chapter 1. In this chapter, we discuss the historical and theoretical background of reading skills. I examined how reading has evolved from oral and written communication actually. In this chapter, we explored reading evolved from oral tradition to a complex mental process. I classified reading into four main types: skimming, scanning, and intensive reading for details, and intensive reading for fluency and pleasure. Skimming is reading quickly to get the main idea of the text. Scanning is reading quickly to find specific information, and intensive reading, reading carefully and in detail, usually for learning, and extensive reading is reading a lot and for pleasure to improve general understanding. Also, we examined common problems faced by Capac students such as limited vocabulary and overuse of translation. And second chapter, general overview of reading and reading skills versus strategies. In the second chapter, I focus on difference between skills and strategies. And skills are automatic, like word recognizing. Strategies are conscious, like listening, meaning, or summarizing. And I discussed three types of strategies: cognitive strategies and metacognitive strategies and compensatory strategies. Examine the section to support my research. Conducted an exam involving 30 first-year students, 102 and 104. I'm mistaken. Students completed a questionnaire based on the Marcy framework. It assessed their use of strategies like bringing the text, listing word meaning, and underlining key points using dictionaries. The results showed that while cognitive strategies were frequently used, metacognitive strategies were less familiar. For example, 80, 87% perimeter text before reading and 80% use meaning from context, and only 38% discusses text with peers, and only 30% uses visual tools. This shows a need for training in deeper pedagogic reading habits, practical application in classroom. I propose a three-stage approach to reading lessons, and reading, brainstorming, predicting. Second, while reading, highlighting, visualizing, post-reading, summarizing, discussion. I also suggest organizing teacher workshops using graphic organizers and encouraging student collaboration. And in conclusion, our research confirms that teaching effective reading strategies improves comprehensive learning, improves students benefit most from structured, conscious approach to reading, and therefore I recommend integrating reading strategies into the syllabus, encouraging independent monitoring, creating more integrative reading encouragement. Thank you for your attention. That's all.
Thank you for your presentation.
I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Okay, you presented in your research paper the method. Analysis of student reading performance and outcomes, yeah? Method analysis of student reading performance and outcomes. How did you implement this type of method?
I consider exploring more reading students toward 103 and 104, like proving the text with center meaning and underlining key points, and the experience was showed that while cognitive strategies were frequently used, metacognitive strategies were less familiar.
Okay. How many groups, how many students implement or questionnaire is taken?
30 students and 2 groups.
Two groups, yes. And can you clarify the most frequently used statements and the less frequently used statements according to your questionnaire?
Mm. My cognitive stages were, for example, the metacognitive stages were less familiar and metacognitive effects were less as a stage.
The next question, I would like to ask you about what kind of challenges may face current students while you yes, what kind of challenges may face current students, yes, while reading. And the next question, second, what reading strategies are appropriate to use with them? First of all, about challenges and about reading strategies appropriate for them.
According to my opinion, the most common strategies were proving the text, processing what meaning from context, and using dictionaries or translation. And, they face challenges such as limited vocabulary or reliance or translation or lack of um, cultural background knowledge when they're reading text.
Yes, have you got any questions? Thank you for your presentation.
We will begin on this qualification thesis and assume some peculiarities of using effective reading strategies for Karakalpak intermediate students. In conclusion, this is a well-structured and relevant qualification paper that provides insightful analysis and actionable recommendations for improving reading instruction among intermediate English learners in Karakalpakstan. I recommend this work for defense with distinction as it fulfills all requirements of a bachelor's qualification paper and adds value to the academic and practical discourse in EFL methodology. Given by Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, Professor Seycan Jetger Yılıbayır. Now let's turn to the next presenter. Our next presenter is Şirpayeva Devnura Gulamcanqızı. With her scientific work developing speaking through writing activities. Her scientific advisor is the Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, Matmurat Rida Zahid.
Good morning, dear professors and guests. My full name is Şirpayeva Devnura. My scientific advisor is Matmurat Rida Zahidovna. I'm honored to present my qualification work on developing speaking through writing activities. The research explores how writing, traditionally seen as a separate skill, and can be a powerful tool to develop students' speaking abilities. The aim of qualification paper is to survey some efficient ways of developing speaking through writing and to create understanding how make an improvement in the existing teaching situation. The concrete tasks are following to analyze scientific literature concerning developing speaking skills of students through writing, and to identify the relationship between writing and the speaking, to investigate the fair methods for speaking, and data analysis and data collection and analysis. The structure of the work. The given qualification paper consists of introduction to chapter, and the conclusion. Bibliography present the list of literature used in the course of research. Chapter 1. Chapter 1 deals with theoretical basis of writing, writing and the relationship between writing and the speaking. And second chapter, there is a given methods for speaking, data analysis, and questionnaire. And conclusion present the result of questionnaire produced in the qualification paper. Next. From the history of writing. Writing is an important skill to develop students' language learning and teaching. Writing system use of sets of speech in 1915 and 1916. Speech was the main concern in language teaching, and writing was considered as a sub-skill for reinforcing speech through writing, through mastery of language forms. Writing instruction focus on developing reproduction skills in the fixed pattern and the ability to identify the problems in linguistic knowledge. And the connection between writing and the speaking. Writing is highly valued in educational setting, and there is a close relationship between writing and the speaking. It's essential to study writing activities for enhancing speaking skills. Writing helps organize thoughts, leading to a clear speech. It enhances vocabulary, enriching spoken language. Activities like journaling, scripting, and summarizing boost fluency and confidence. Integrating writing with speaking practice foster oral communication skills, and creating a strong link between written and the spoken language. And practical writing activities for speaking skill. There are several effective writing activities for developing speaking skills. For example, collaborative writing. Collaborative writing can significantly enhance students' speaking abilities. It involves brainstorming session where participants share their ideas verbally. This practice helps improve articulation and the ability to express thoughts clearly, which directly translate to speaking skills. When participants are working together, they provide feedback or contribution. This process encourages individuals to explain their reasoning and clarify their thoughts, and enhancing their verbal communication skills. After completing collaborative writing, teams are often present their work, preparing for and delivering this presentation. Helps develop public speaking and the confidence, and also provide active participation. And writing tasks to enhance speaking skills. Writing tasks like journaling, peer review, and peer reviews foster oral communication. For example, Students can keep weekly on journals, give peer feedback, work on group project, which help develop verbal skill and confidence in speaking. Research shows that integrating writing and speaking enhance fluency and reduce anxiety. Classroom strategies include group discussion based on written work and peer review sessions. These methods align with communicative language teaching and promoting active participation. There are three advantages of using writing to promote speaking. Firstly, writing is easier to handle for those learners who are not ready to speak up in class, psychologically or physically. Writing can reinforce what has been practiced orally or vice versa. It can practice in forms that are more fully realized in writing. The fourth skill, work in tandem, when activities require their use of designing support learners in process of learning, creating, and producing specific products. Evaluating writing activities for speaking. Assessing writing activities is crucial for teaching speaking. Effective evaluation identifies how well activities promote fluency, confidence, and clarity in spoken language. Successful activities like reflective journal and structured writing tasks help bridge written and spoken language and provide clear pathway of oral proficiency. And key criteria include student engagement, relevance to speaking goal and skill development. Examples like peer feedback and collaborative storytelling can help develop students speaking effectively. And this is a practical part of my work, data analysis. I administrated questionnaire to 25 students from group 104 and 101 at Karakalpak State University. In selecting teachers, I aimed to gather insights from both experienced and novice educators. Teacher A. Teacher is a male with several years of teaching experience, specializing in English at foreign languages faculty. And teacher B, also male, and has extensive teaching experience, also teaching at foreign language faculty. And teacher C is a male as well, and his first year at teaching English at foreign language faculty. And I asked them, what do you do to develop students' speaking skills in writing classes? Teacher A says that usually integrated writing with speaking, and the teacher B uses group work for developing speaking in writing classes. For example, group will write a story, and the second group retell the story. And teachers see told that sometimes they discuss one of the students writing a piece of work in writing classes. Everybody will tell their opinion and advantage and disadvantage of the task. And next, the questionnaire. The questionnaire was completed by 26 students from group 2, 1 or 2 and 1 or 4. They were asked to share their opinion on 10 statements. Example question, we do different speaking activities in pre-writing stage. I think that develop my speaking abilities. This is a result of the questionnaire. 64% of students students said that I agree completely, and 4% of students said that I disagree completely, and 32% of students said that I agree completely. Based on the result, pre-writing speaking activities are considered the very effective methods. Are over 70% students in all group either completely or partially agree with this statement. And this shows that writing activities are effective method of developing students' speaking ability. And conclusion. Based on this finding from questionnaire and interview with both student and teacher participants, it's concluded that writing tests can significantly contribute to the development of speaking skills. Our research successfully achieved the objectives we studied process writing and the relationship between writing and speaking, and conducted data analysis and questionnaire. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you for your presentation.
You choose 3 teachers here while your investigation. What was the aim of choosing 3 different teachers?
The aim of choosing three teachers, because they all have their different teaching experience. For example, teacher A, experienced teacher. Teacher B is an extensive experienced teacher, and teacher C is a first year of teaching experience. The aim of choosing this teacher because to know the effective writing activities, which one effective method for developing speaking ability of students. How? And writing activities is an essential method of developing speaking.
Is it depend on teacher?
Yes, teachers' experience and also the students. The next questionnaire is based on students' opinion.
Okay, my results, it's kind of pre-writing activities was the most effective one.
What kind of?
Pre-writing activities for the complex speakers.
For example, brainstorming. Brainstorming is one of the effective writing activity to develop students' speaking ability. They gather ideas and present their work with their group mates, and at that time they discuss with their partner their group mate.
So I would like to ask you the next question. So the theme of your qualification work is developing speaking skills through writing activities, yes? And the aim of your work is to survey some efficient ways of developing speaking through writing. So the question is, why you have included here the simulation if you are going to develop your speaking skills through writing? Because there is given some information about simulation. And what is simulation and why you have included it here? Because there are so many, yes? Materials were included in your about simulation and also in the part of conclusion you have included information about simulation. What is the connection of simulation with developing speaking skills through writing?
Simulation is real life activities. Could you repeat please?
What is the connection or relevance of simulation to developing speaking through writing activities? Sizin simanızla qanday qatnası var deb ataladi simulation. So speaking, writing and how well could it possible? Başka da düşünün. Thank you. You may take your seat.
Okay, review given on the special qualification thesis on the theme developing speaking through writing activities. One potential improvement to the study could be the inclusion of a small-scale experimental or survey-based data set to quantify the observed improvements. Even so, the thesis is well written and offers valuable insights for language educators. I consider this qualification thesis to meet the academic and methodological requirements of a bachelor's degree and confidently recommend it for defense with a high evaluation. Given by Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, Alan Nazarbayev. Have a good evening. Our next presenter is Jalasva Dasiva Fatbaykızı. With her scientific work, Importance of Graphic Novels in Critical Reading Skill Development of Intermediate Level Learners. Her scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, Kırıbayeva Aliye Ondasova.
Good morning, my name is Nashida Shakasva. Scientific advice, Kırıbayeva Aliye Ondasova. The theme importance of graphic novels in critical reading skills development of intermediate level learners. Qualification paper consists in introduction to chapters, conclusions, bibliography, and then appendix. Introduction includes relevance for regional language. Education is a national paper in Uzbekistan, reinforced by presidential degrees and cultural reforms. counter-reform focus exploring graphic novels as innovative tools to develop students' reading comprehension, critical thinking, and communication skills. Uh, Problem. Despite their pedagogical potential, graphic novels remain understood in traditional classrooms. Aim to evaluate the educational role of graphic novels in foreign language learning, advancements, and um, research methods, experimental classroom uh, implementation, survey teachers, students, and data analysis, comprehension, and the engagement outcomes. Object, object graphic novels in reading introduction. Subjects their effect of language comprehension and skill development. Goal practical lesson frameworks and uh, skills. Goal practical lesson frameworks and insight of EFL English as a foreign languages. Methodologies concepts. Chapter 1. Chapter 1 I deals with circle foundation of graphic novels in educational. 1.1 historical overview. Uh, graphic novel. Graphic novel evolved from early comics such as Yellow Kite, 1895, 95 and the recognition with works like Mouse, Spider-Man, and the satrapi. Say below visual and the textual storytelling, now accept as a valid literary and educational medium. 1.2 arguments against use. Critics, graphic novels, like academic region are not real literature and distract from traditional reading. Inputs and inputs content lack of standard critical and insuffixal teacher training. 1.3 arguments in favor. Critical graphic novels lack academic uh, arguments is favor. Advocates highlight their role in their visual literary engagement and critical thinking. They support device learning, especially recorders and visual learners. 1.4 1.4 Introduction resistant and conservative education norms, daily adoption, teachers teachers history to truth, uniformity, limited research uh, and 1.5 context in Uzbekistan. Despite national reforms in education and foreign language learners, graphic novels and not formally integrated and interest is growing in higher education and provide schools. Uh, Provide schools. Chapter 2 there is critical uh, there is a critical application of graphic novels. The English as foreign languages classroom. Includes that suggested methodology aspect of lesson planning with graphic novels. This section outlines practical and pedagogical strategies of design effective lesson plan and teaching guides and interpreted graphic novels. And the education resource. Uh, Including free teaching materials and online lesson plans, while will underscoring and the need for the need for uh, uh, key key distractions that are drawn between reading guides, teaching guides, and the lesson plan. Reading guides support book clubs discussion, often used by librarians. Teaching guides and with standards and include assessment. And the lesson plan target specific skills for short-term classroom use. Uh, important co- uh, Important consideration for planning include uh, uh, targeting targeting appropriate grade levels and reading levels, highlighting the graphic elements, color, panel, load out, and visual symbolism to complement traditional literal analysis. Uh, and um, the, the the chapter also include a lesson plan in implication guide based on the graphic novel the man in the Iran mask. Iran mask. The lesson plan integrated literature, culture, visual arts, and critical thinking. That through the graphic novel adaptation of Alexander Dumas. The man is Elon Musk. Uh, it is designed of foster vocabulary development and cultural creative expression and relative writing for high school English for EFL learners. Step-by-step overview. Step 1, vocabulary building. Students explore key literary and thematic themes uh, and construct a word support comprehension and expression. Step 2, thematic research project. Uh, Thematic small group investigate related topics, masking in punishment, celebration, and identity to prepare 10 to 15 minutes presentations. Step 3, creative mask design. Students create to mask a uniform Iran mask worn from one school. They to work work uh, reflection. Uh, um, um, a personalized festive mask inspired by historical masquerade. Step 4, host a masquerade ball. The school organized a critical event featuring students created mask, music, and dance to immerse learners in French cultural traditions. Uh, Step 5, reflective writing. Learners write critical responses to their experience writing masks. Drawing parallels to themes in the novel, identity and punishment, societal rules. Step 5, critical viewing. Students analyze and masquerade ball signed from the Phantom of the Opera 2004. 2004, focusing on the symbolism, lyrics, and cultural commentary. Step
You may move to your conclusion.
conclude. Uh,
In your conclusion. Buona tecnica
Recommendation: develop teachers training program, translate adapt graphic novels in Uzbek Karabakh, aligned with national standards, provide schools legal access. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Okay. Zashita. Your topic is importance of graphic novels in developing critical thinking skills, yes? What's the difference between graphic novels and the novels? Novels and graphic novels.
Graphic novels. Graphic novels. Uh,
I think you know what is a novel, yes? What's the difference between novel and graphic novel?
Graphic novels, the small literary topics formed in classes literature. Uh, mm, Graphic novels, typically book legend narratives, then can they can the stand, stand
Na seconda settimana stanno loro loro grafiko 되게 얘기해. 이 진짜 단어가 있어요. просто тема значит тема 살아가는 게 수준이 있었대. 아 그리고 다시
which reading techniques we may use if we want to do graphic novel? Which techniques, reading techniques we use? One more question. Reading technique itu proper. For example, how do you use skimming or scanning?
Yes.
What is the function of graphic novels in enhancing reading comprehension?
Please.
What is the function of graphic novels in enhancing reading comprehension?
Are you ready to answer? Okay, thank you for your presentation. You may take us through your presentation.
Review on the special qualification thesis on the theme, importance of graphic novels in critical reading skills development of intermediate level learners. This paper offers a replicable model for language teachers who wish to integrate graphic novels into their own teaching practice. Generally, the present qualification thesis has been completed in accordance with the requirements to the bachelor qualification work and may be admitted to the defense. Given by Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, docent Jalgas Nurjan Maratovich from Nuku State Pedagogical Institute. Now, let's turn to next presenter. Next presenter is Kabulova Nargiza Azatbekovna. Her scientific work is Comparative Picture of English and Karakalpak Puzzles. Her scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, Sagat Vazarina Bakhtiar.
Good morning, our professors and our guests. I am Kabulova Nargiza and my scientific advisor is Sagat Vazarina Bakhtiar. And our theme is about comparative picture of English and numerical puzzles. Folklore is an important part of nation culture, showing its people way of thinking, traditions, and values. Puzzles and riddles are special type of folklore. They aren't just for entertainment. They use clever language and the symbols to share society, knowledge, humor, and ideas. The presidential decree UP 114 on July 27 to 2023 aims to develop nation cultures and protect traditions. It highlights the importance of studying folklore like Karakalpak puzzles as a part of Uzbekistan culture heritage. So our work, the structure of our work is the structure of our work are so in today's global world, studying folklore like puzzles help preserve national heritage and understand other cultures. Puzzles show how people think, remember, and use language creatively. but there hasn't been much research comparing English and Karakalpak puzzles. Uh, the, the main role of our research is preserving cultural heritage and by highlighting the value of puzzles in English and Karakalpak tradition. The novelty of our work, comparison of puzzles into different cultures and language. It shows how the same type of folklore can reflect different ways of speaking, thinking, and living in English and Karakalpak traditions. So, uh, theoretical background, this chapter lays on the groundwork for comparison English and Karakalpak puzzles, explain what puzzles are and how they differ from other folklore. Puzzles have many roles. They teach, connect people, and show the culture. And as we learned, there are several types of puzzles, like descriptive, comparative, action, question and answer, enigmatic riddles, and visual mathematics. So the first type is descriptive riddles. They describe an object indirectly using metaphors. For example, in English riddle, it has a neck but no head. It's a bottle. In Karakalpak, Pervoshaka Biskisiu, mouse, it is mouse and the fingers. Comparative type of puzzle, it is compare a noun to a noun object. As in English, for example, English riddle as white as snow but burns your tongue. It's a salt. In Karakalpak, Havday Balen, Sayday Teren, it is mind. Question and answer type presented as a challenge or question, typical in folk riddles. For example, what has keys but can't open the door? It's a piano. In Karakalpak, Pacha Kunge Bas Yedi to the barber. Enigmatic riddles type is philosophical or abstract, often literally. For example, what diverse all things? It's a time. In Karakalpak, tatlıdan tatlı kandayzat. It's a dream. It's a dream. So, and also mathematical type is modern. This type is modern. Puzzles involving patterns and logic. It can be Sudoku logic puzzles like this. The role of puzzles in English culture, puzzles, particularly riddles, have historical served as both intellectual challenges and artistic expressions. From Anglo-Saxon period through the Middle Ages into modern times, English riddles were not merely a form of entertainment, but also means of stimulating critical thinking, encouraging linguistic dexterity, and providing moral and philosophical reflections. In Karakalpak culture, puzzles carried a much more practical and social cohesive role, where they were deeply embedded in oral tradition and everyday life, acting as educational tools for younger generation and reinforcing social ties within the community. Through the Karakalpak puzzles, transmitted essential knowledge about the environment, survival strategies, moral values, and the cultural customs. And the next is the features of comparison Karakalpak and the English puzzles. So, English literature purposes of English literature is symbolism with plot device. Karakalpak literature with some past folklore education. Common context plays fantasy, novels, poetry, epics, in Karakalpak literature, epics, fairy tales, itis, poetry.
Could you show us a practical part of your work where you have shown the comparison?
Practical part.
Comparison.
Compare. Here we compared. We compared fairy tales. Just a minute. We compared fairy tales from English literature is Alice Adventures in Wonderland. The famous one, Why is Ribbon like a writing desk? In Karakalpak oral literature, riddles and some part of storytelling, we compare dastans, epic poetry, tam ata verirdi, бірақ жарық бермейді. Не бұл? That smoke.
Your topic is very interesting. It's comparing English and classes. Okay, what kind of differences and similarities have you found while comparing these two language puzzles?
So the similarities of English and Karakalpak puzzles, they are, we can give, no, they are two types riddles that we can give for children, and the next one is we can give to adults. In English and Karakalpak, these types can be used. And the differences,
Maybe it's relevant to our cultural background.
yes, in our Karakalpakstan, we say puzzles orally, and we can and also use it in celebrations. It's also used in celebrations. People say in celebrations, but in English they used affirmative sentences in the riddles. Most of the riddles consist of affirmative sentences.
Okay, all your methods, you try to use several methods in your work. Here is written how it goes, method, how you use it.
Analytical method. We can analyze riddles by literature of culture. Yes.
Don't please.
Review given on the special qualification thesis on the scene comparative picture of English and Karanova puzzles. The qualification paper demonstrates the author's ability to engage with academic theory, apply appropriate research methods, and conduct meaningful comparative analysis. It offers a significant contribution to the study of folklore and comparative linguistics at the undergraduate level. The work is recommended for defense. The review given by Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science person Joldas Bey.
No.
Mikrofonem.
Okay, now let's announce the first presenter, Tubanbay Topraklar Club by Ola. His scientific work is called Developing Receptive Skills in Foreign Language Teaching. His scientific advisor is candidate of Pedagogical Science, Delsun Tubanbay Cevat Aminbayevich.
Good morning, dear member of the Commission. I am Rumay Plus by Ola. The topic of my qualification paper is developing receptive skills in foreign language teaching. Listening and reading are essential receptive skills in language learning. However, they are often the most difficult to develop. Learners might struggle to understand the main ideas of the text, recognize vocabulary, or interpret expressions correctly. Developing receptive skills, listening and reading is essential in modern language education. President's degree emphasizes improving language teaching in Uzbekistan. Lack of modern practical materials makes this research timely and necessary. The process of teaching English with focus on listening on reading activities, subject theoretical and practical issues of teaching, listening, and reading. Aim to investigate theoretical and pragmatic peculiarities of teaching, listening, and reading in English. Task: study theoretical basis of receptive skills, different features of listening and reading, analyze classroom activities, identify typical difficulties, methods, observation surveys, analysis of theoretical pedagogical, psychological, and literature. Techniques. Scheming to get the gist, scanning to find specific information, intensive reading for deep understanding, analytical reading for critical evaluation. Lesson stage. Pre-reading activity, background, knowledge, learn vocabulary. While reading, comprehension, task, true, false, inference, post-reading, analysis, summary, personal response. Developing listening skills. Listening, just hearing, it involves understanding, interpreting, reacting. Essential for communication, decision making, academic success. Types of listening: comprehensive, critical, informational, reflective, selective. Listening process: bottom up, details sound words, top down, context meaning inference. Chapter 2. receptive skills, digital technologies. The integration of digital technologies helps enhance listening and reading. Analysis focuses on 11th grade English textbooks. Data from textbooks, structure, tools, user types of tasks. Analysis of books and programs of 11th grade learners. Structure, 20 units review. Lessons, life skills, culture. Reading tasks, matching, multiple choice, gap fill. Discussion, practical, authentic, clear but sometimes too easy. Digital technologies in language learning. Why digital tools matter? Increase motivation and independence, makes content more visual and accessible, allows distance learning and personalized instructions, encourages feedback and collaboration. Benefits and challenges of digital technologies in language teaching. Advantages: increases engagement and motivation, enables flexible remote and includes learning, supports individualized pace and adaptive learning, instant feedback and self-correction opportunities. Benefits and challenges of digital technologies in language teaching. Teachers, especially older ones, may lack digital literacy, technical problems like of equipment, poor internet, limited variety in some textbooks, mostly audio, video. Conclusion. Developing receptive skills, listening and reading is essential for successful foreign language. Theoretical approach, top-down, bottom-up, provides solid foundation for method selection. Practical strategies like pre, while, post lessons, stage increase, comprehension, and retention. Integration of the digital technologies, textbooks, online tools, motivation and real life skill development.
Okay, thank you for your presentation.
Okay. In order to develop listening skills, what kind of activity is very helpful to the students? Have you understood me? Question. Have you understood me? In order to develop students' listening skills, what kind of activities or tasks very helpful?
Listening, just hearing involves understanding, interpreting, reacting. Essential for communication, empathy.
Yes, you may list all these activities. You shouldn't read any theories, but just you should say activities or any task in order to improve listening skills.
The name of the task.
Yeah, name them. You should list. yapan ya tasklar, activity'ler böyle virtual okudum proje. Listening active tutor. Maybe you have used any internet materials or podcasts, or maybe you have watched any short movie clips by using this kind of apps, maybe this kind of technology. You have improved, enhanced your listening skills. Okay, next.
So, what is the object of your research work?
Object.
The topic of your research work about the fourth-year students developing their speaking receptive skills, reading and listening, yes? But in your chapter, given the analysis books of programs of 11th grade school learners. Şu an kaçta bölümde? 4. kurs filologiya studentlarının listening oranlarına ile mekteптегі 10. классның. Sizin жұмысыңыз қайсысында?
11th grade.
11th grade. 11. класста арналғанға listening, reading тақсыларыңыз. Онда темасын сыртын топлап қоясыздар. Темасын сыртында жазып қойсыз. Прям. This was carried out by the fourth-year students. И мына сізге қайтарайын он бірінші класстарға арналғанда объектіңіз значит мектеп 11 класс
Thank you for your presentation. You may take this. Okay. Okay. So turn will be given to the next, yes, the second presenter, Ukraina Sebastian, and the theme of your qualification paper is the role of interactive digital tools in enhancing assessment practices of the 10th and 11th grade learners.
Bir çok operasyon vardı. Bu proje namı alması tecrübeyken teknikliğini yaptık. Söyle sana slide veriniz falan. Huzur meşadet bizi kullanın için. Tamam.
Okay. Aziza, you may start from your practical part, okay?
So as my topic is about enhancing assessment for using workflow and Mentimeter, so I'm starting with the lesson planning methodology. So with the help of scientific advisor, I integrated these tools into full lesson plans that covered all stages from warm-up to assessment. For example, I used Mentimeter for brainstorming and anonymous reflection, and Wordwall for grammar games and vocabulary matching. These tools supported not only assessment, but also they gave to the students motivation, communication, and creative thinking. So the research So the research design, the study was conducted over 6 weeks with 40 students and from grades 10 and 11. So it included pre and post assessment, teacher observation, and constructed questionnaires. Lessons focused on vocabulary and grammar topics with at least 2 digital activities per week using Mentimeter or Word. So, key findings. I gave the questionnaire for students, and 86% of these students reported enjoying lessons more with digital tools. And most said that they learned grammar and vocabulary more effectively and felt more confident, especially when responding anonymously. Student engagement visibly increased, especially during the games. And even shy students participated more actively. And the key findings for teachers. Teachers also gave highly positive feedback. All of them noticed increasing participation and faster and clearer assessment. So Mentimeter helped identify learning gaps in real time, while Wordwall made grammar practices fun. And the main challenges were occasional technical issues and time needed for planning. So these results support educational theories. The tools help learners build knowledge actively, stay motivated through feedback and gamification, and reflect on their learning. They also support inclusive education by giving quiet students a voice and allowing multiple ways to engage with their content. This proves that digital tools are not just advanced, and they are central to modern teaching and assessment. So to summarize, Mentimeter and Wordwall make assessment more dynamic, engaging, and effective. They also help students reflect on their progress while giving teachers real-time insight into student understanding. However, their success depends on proper planning, teaching training, and access to technology. When used thoughtfully, these tools can transform how we assess students in today's classrooms. So, along with my scientific advisor, I recommend that schools invest in teacher training for digital assessment. Teachers should blend digital tools with traditional methods to meet diverse students' needs. It's important to ensure all the students have access to the needed technology. And lastly, digital tools should be used not just for fun, but with clear learning goals to support meaningful assessment. And thank you for your attention. I'm looking for the questions.
Andres, could you describe mental method and Wordwall? Could you show us some kind of, could you explain, yes, by using this app, how can we interact with the students? Mental method, and then you may turn Wordwall.
All right. So Mentimeter we use for live polls, for word clouds, and short answer questions. It's great for reflection and engagement, especially when because responses can be anonymously. And Wordwall provides gamified grammar and vocabulary practice. So through activities like matching, quizzing, and competitions. Both tools encourage active participation and real-time feedback.
Have you ever used it?
Yes.
While you are
Yes.
at school?
We were in school number 12 and in school number 22. So here we went there not just only to observe the lessons, but also we assisted the teachers, helping them to make to make some warm-ups, then the real activities.
How it was effective? What was the students' reaction by using this app?
So, as you know, most schools have traditional methods to teach. When I first went there to practice, and when we used the interactive boards, so students' engagement rose. So they were not only interested in just by playing, but they learned some more.
Your investigation, research, what kind of assessment techniques you use in 10 standard elementary grade learners?
Could you repeat your question, please?
Assessment techniques.
Assessment techniques.
Yes. So first, these tools are better for shy students because when they are in a classroom, they stay quiet, not answering. But when they are engaging with the process, when they have answer anonymously, they will show their what they can do. And for it's also fosters their learning through games like activities when they want to win the first prize, and also in World there is a leadership. So if you have finished, I can show you some activities that I use it in my presentation.
Yes. Because your topic very actual, very interesting for us, for the members of the community.
Here, so here, lesson planning methodology. We started our lesson with a warm up. So here I used word clouds. So I made this activity in Mentimetal. So here, for all of the students, we're given the same question. What word comes to your mind when you hear the word travel? And here, they should write their opinion, and their opinion will be shown in the board. So, next part. Yes. Second part is presentation. Here you can use quizzes and matches. I made this activity by word wall. So here I used the matching. So here, as our topic was about traveling, I here used some phrasal verbs, and here their definition. So when the students choose the numbers, they should find their definition. For example, let's say that they choose the disappoint, and somewhere they should find their definition in phrasal verb like let down. Next, please. So next part is practice. Here we can use the game for multiple questions or anagrams. I made this activity using the anagram. So again, our topic was about traveling. Here we use the phrasal verbs. So they should put the letters in order. So from this, we get the phrasal verb in out. And last part is production. Here we can use open-ended tasks. I made this activity with the help of Mentimeter. So they are given the same task for all the students, make up sentences using today's new vocabulary about travel. So as we had the phrasal verbs before, all of them make sentences, and their answers will be shown on the interactive board. This is
Review given on this bachelor qualification thesis on the theme the role of interactive digital tools, Mentimeter work well in enhancing assessment practices of 10th and 11th grade learners, written by Zashita Aziza. Generally, the present qualification thesis has been completed in accordance with the requirements to the bachelor qualification work and may be admitted to the defense. Next presenter is Orunbayeva Shahnoza Kalibek kızı. Her scientific work is concept of purpose and means of expressing it in modern English and Russian. Her scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science Saparnyaz Rüstem Shanyaz.
you may also move to your main part, okay?
The topic of the presentation is the concept of purpose and the means of expressing in modern English and Russian. The actuality of the theme. Though the concept of purpose has been more or less investigated in English and Russian separately, there hasn't been any scientific research devoted to the comparative typological study of the means of verbalizing the concept in English and Russian. And to the effective methods of teaching the aforementioned means of verbalizing the concept in English and Russian schools. The aim of the research, the comparative typological analysis of the means of verbalizing the concept of purpose and methods of teaching the means of verbalizing the concept in English and Russian schools. In order to achieve the above mentioned, we should carry out the following tasks. To identify and justify the actuality of the theme, chosen theme, to make a qualitative and quantitative research, to make a qualitative and quantitative analysis of verbalizing the concept of purpose in English and Russian. To establish and explain the isomorphic features, similarities and allomorphic features, the dissimilarities of the verbalizing the concept of purpose in modern English and Russian, to work out useful strategies and methodologies to teach the means of verbalizing the concept of purpose in modern English and Russian schools. The first chapter, Foundation of Cognitive Linguistics and the Concept of Purpose. Cognitive linguistics studies mental processes and their linguistic reflections, view language as part of human cognition and individual experience richer than a mere notion. It mediates between culture and person, influencing communication and thought. Concepts are hierarchical and form a picture of the world with the purpose representing a goal-directed human behavior essential in language and cognition. Scientific and philosophical perspectives on purpose. Purpose is studied across psychology, biology, philosophy. It involves conscious intent, evolutionary traits, and teleological behavior. Aristotle viewed purpose as the ultimate cause of existence, while modern science links it to feedback systems and goal-directed activity. Purpose integrates actions into goal-directed sequences, reflecting both ideal images and real possibilities, and is central to understanding human motivation and behavior. Cross-cultural linguistic differences, English and Russian. English and Russian differ significantly in grammar, word order, and expression of meaning. Russian relies on inflections and aspects. However, English uses auxiliary verbs and fixed word order. These differences create challenges in language learning and intercultural communication. Culture shock arises from these linguistic and cultural contrasts, affecting understanding and interaction. Awareness of these differences is crucial for effective communication and teaching. So, comparative analysis of the concept purpose in English and Russian. In English, purpose denotes an anticipated outcome guiding actions with synonyms like goal, aim, and intention. Russian equivalents include цель, задача, and намерение. Each carrying nuanced meanings shaped by cultural context. The conceptual fields differ structurally and semantically, reflecting distinct culture and linguistic traditions. Understanding these differences aids in teaching and translation between the languages. Expressive means of purpose, morphemes, and lexical items. English expresses purpose morphologically through the prefix "pre". However, in Russian, uses a rich set of morphemes like цели in words such as целенаправленное или целеустремление. Both languages have extensive lexical fields with synonyms and antonyms, reflecting nuances of purpose, intention, and aim, highlighting cultural and linguistic specificity. Teaching strategies for expressing purpose in English. Effective foreign language teaching integrates practical, educational, and cultural aims. The communicative approach emphasizes real communication to develop language skills and competency. Strategies include the jigsaw technique for group work, discussions to engage critical thinking, concept sketches for visual learning, just-in-time teaching for preparation, debates for oral work, and role-playing to simulate the real-life scenarios. Um, and conclusion. This research offers comparative linguistic analysis of the concept of purpose in English and Russian, revealing cultural and structural differences. The findings support the development of targeted teaching methodologies to improve English language education and in Russian speaking contexts. The practical value extends to lectures, translation, intercultural communication, and language teaching, fostering better understanding and effective communication across cultures.
Okay, I have a question. By using progress, what kind of idiomatic expression or collocation or phrasal verbs can you give any examples by using purpose? And what about purpose in your life? Yine bir konusunda yapabilirsen, phrasal verbs, olarak sağlarsanız. Другие статьи, другие purpose kullanılan purpose. Другие mesela phrasal verbs, bir daha saksan bu.
Carry out.
Carry out.
It means like to product. For example, the teacher carried out a test for the purpose of measuring progress. Or to investigate. For example, the school is looking into new ways of assessing students fairly. It looks like the phrasal verb for this is look into. Point out, it means like to highlight. For example, the quiz results pointed out areas where students need improvements.
Okay, thank you. The next presenter.
Next presenter is Zamatinova Shikmoza, reporting. Her scientific work is using internet technologies for developing academic licensed writing skills. Her scientific advisor is candidate of pedagogical science, Dr. Cevat Amirbayev.
Okay. Good morning, dear respected members of the Commission and all present here. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to present the result of my qualification paper. And the topic of my work is using internet technologies for developing academic classroom students' writing skills. This research is very important today because the world is changing fast and so must your teaching and our teaching methods. Nowadays, in 21st century, information technologies are normal part of daily life for young people. They use smartphones, computers, and social media every day, so it is logical to use these tools in education too. In Uzbekistan, the development of foreign language teaching has become a national priority. In 2021, our President Shavkat Mirziyoyev signed a decree to modernize foreign language learning and to prepare young people for global communication. However, despite reforms, many students still have low writing skills. Writing in English remains one of the most difficult areas for licensing students. They often know grammar rules but feel shy or unsure when they need to write essays, emails, or reports. That's why I decided to study how internet technologies can help to solve this problem and make writing skills more effective, interactive, and interesting. Okay, the next part of my work is uh, purpose, subject, and object. The main purpose of my research is to analyze how internet technologies can be used to develop students' writing skills and to give practical recommendations for teachers. The object of my research is the process of okay, sorry. The object of our research is the process of teaching English at academic license. The subject is the use and effectiveness of internet tools to improve students' written communication. To reach my goal, I set several tasks. First, to study literature about internet use in teaching, to analyze psychological aspects of online learning, to find methods for writing practice, and to recommend practical activities for teachers. Then, the main part of my our work is theoretical basis, chapter 1. Let me explain the theoretical background, which is
Can
described.
you move to the in practical part of your work, chapter 2?
Okay.
What kind of technologies?
Yes.
Technologies will you
Okay. Chapter 2 is practical part of my research. Here I show how internet technologies can be used effectively in real lessons and what results we can expect. I divided chapter 2 into three parts, and the first part is internet as a means to develop learners' competence. The internet is more than just information. It helps develop critical thinking, problem solving, and communication skills. For example, when students write emails or participate in forums, they practice clear structure, correct grammar, and polite tone. Watching videos with subtitles improves vocabulary and helps them write better sentences. Next part, ways of using email and chat. In this part, I present examples of using email and chat for language learning. Email allows students to practice different styles, formal letters, informal messages, storytelling, or even online diaries. Teachers can send corrections and personal comments back. Chat, both text and voice, creates real-time conversation practice. It trains students to write quickly and think in English. It is also a good tool for group discussions about topics. Then, third, practical suggestions for teachers. Based on my research, I give several practical tips for teachers. And the first tip is plan clear goals for each online tasks.
Start with simple tools, for example, online dictionaries, Google Docs, or YouTube. Then combine traditional writing exercises with online activities and also motivate students to write not only at school but also at home. For example, in a personal blog or a class group chat. This suggestion helps teachers feel more confident with technology and help students learn actively. Also, I want to give example of activities to show how this works in practice. I suggested several activities in our qualification paper. Pen calls. Students exchange emails with peers from other schools or even other countries. Class magazines. Students write articles, interviews, and publish them online. Publish them online. Yes. Discussion forums. Students share opinions about topics like hobbies, social problems, or cultural events. Then, online portfolios. Students collect their writings in a digital folder to track their progress over time. Then, also I want to mention something about um, results and benefits. According to my practical research and student feedback, using internet tools bring many benefits. For example, students are more motivated and less afraid of making mistakes. They expand their vocabulary and use grammar more correctly in real contexts. They become more independent and responsible for their learning. Then they communicate more confidently with each other and with the teacher. All these results prove that the internet technologies are not just useful but necessary in modern teaching. Also, some information about challenges and solutions. Of course, there are some challenges too. Not all teachers feel comfortable with digital tools. Some students don't have good internet access at home, and sometimes students can get distracted online. To solve this problem, I recommend organize more training for teachers on how to use internet tools, provide better equipment and stable internet in school, use clear instruction and monitor tasks carefully, then combine online work with face-to-face support. To conclude my our qualification paper shows that using internet technologies in teaching writing is not just possible, but it is must for modern education. If teachers use these tools wisely, they make writing lessons more engaging, practical, and meaningful for students. Uh, this prepare our young people for further education, work, and the life in a global world. Zara, good communication in English is key. I hope our research, and the recommendations will help teachers in Uzbekistan and support in the improving of language teaching in our country. Okay, and thank you for your attention.
Okay, Shahmata, what difficulties did you face during the research work?
Okay. To be honest, I will never really thought about it, but I suppose the most difficult part of my our qualification paper is find information and about um, situation in our schools. For example, you can see a lot of information that nowadays many schools are uh, equipped with computers, but not all this equipment is
Level equipment in
yes,
the classes, yes?
yes.
Okay.
What about the solving this problem?
Solving more control.
Control. Control? Yes. Sizin kendi var. How?
To be honest, I don't know, and because I don't think about it.
Okay, in order to check, to assess students' writing skills, what kind of internet tools you have used?
Can you repeat?
To check, to assess, writing ve dil seviyenden hangi tool'lardan faydalansak olur?
Okay, during my practice in school, I check students' work from online platform that's called Google Docs, and also was one online platform, but I forgot the name. Here we can chat with our students, and they
Level uncooperative to internet.
undoubtedly because they um, mm, show their works, and automatically computer checks their level and their works, and sometimes even give feedback from teachers from other countries or even other schools in Uzbekistan.
Okay, so how it's helpful, for example, with public chat in enhancing their writing skills, students? Public chat. Imagine.
Yes, public chat. For example, everybody here can write their opinions, can post their portfolios, and show their works, and this can develop their writing skills
Is it public chat?
in public chat. Or you ask what is public chat?
How you use it, for example, the way public chat in your enhances the students' writing skills in academic license.
Thank you. The next presenter is Alamata Zura Mujasa.
Today I'm going to present our regulation thesis on the topic, the importance of self-training tasks in learning and teaching English. Let me move to practical parts, yes. In the practical parts of my research, we focused on how self-training tasks help for students are used in teaching English grammar. I looked at the curriculum for first year students, especially the subject theoretical grammar of English. I studied what kind of self-training tasks were given and how often they were used. Then I did an experiment with students. I gave them different grammar tests, grammar tasks to do on their own, such as exercises, tests, and activities, online platforms like, and these tasks were based on what was has learned and in classroom. After a week, I checked the results. I saw that students who practiced more and with self-training tasks had better grammar results. They made fewer mistakes and uh, and felt more confident. Most students also said that they liked learning this way and wanted to use more self-training in the future. As you know, English is a global language and essential tool for international communication and education and career development. Uh, that's why, therefore, improving uh, teaching methods is very important. Uh, Benefits of self-training. Self-training offers many benefits. Self-training offers it increases practice times, build confidence, support different learning styles, and reinforce classroom learning. It also promotes real-life language use, which is very important in learning a foreign language. Uh, Forms of activities can be reading books or listening to songs or different activities, speaking with partners or using flashcards for grammar. Um, and tools and resources. Some popular tools for self-training tasks include listening, for example, TED Talks in YouTube, BBC Learning English. In the speaking skills, we can use Hello Talk, the apps, or in the writing, Grammarly. Vocabulary, Quizlet, or Memorize, we can use these apps. These tools make learning more interactive and enjoyable. Of course, in my practice, during my practice, I faced some challenges. Self-training has challenges like lack of motivation or limited time. Or To solve this, it's important to set clear goals, use interactive tasks, or encourage reflection. These strategies help students stay focused and responsible. I also compare task-based learning and project-based learning. Task-based learning focuses on short-term tasks, while project-based learning involves long-term, creative and collaborative projects. Both methods support language learning in different ways. In teaching grammar and reading, in grammar reading lessons, I use apps like and games like Duolingo or Wordwell. Before,
Thank you. It's enough. Now we will move to the questions.
Okay, Bukhara. What kind of tasks were in your self-training in curriculums of theoretical grammar?
Theoretical grammar. In the theoretical grammar, we look at different types of self-training tasks. For example, we use tests for students in grammar, in learning English grammar, and increasing motivation.
This is a theoretical of the grammar, yeah?
Yeah.
Curriculum. So how we can access
Students were
grammars, self-study tasks?
Students were accessed through tests, presentations, or written reports. Lessons include basic linguistic or part of speech. The tasks supported by their independent learning through the course.
Okay, last question. Why did you choose this curriculum, theoretical of grammar?
I choose this topic because self-training tasks become more independent and responsible for in learning English.
Okay, I have a question. In order to improve your speaking skills, what kind of classes you have used? Because your topic self-training.
Yeah.
What kind of
Speaking
classes you have used it in order to improve your speaking skills?
I use it to improve speaking skills, apps like Hello Talk or different apps.
What about Hello Talk? You have mentioned from your slides, Speechly, yes?
Yes.
All of these apps free or you should pay?
We don't pay. We can, yes, limited. It's limited, but we can use.
Yes, you
Yes,
have good apps.
Yeah.
What about other tasks in order to improve your speaking self-training tasks? Apart from these apps, Hello Talk or Speechly, what about what kind of other tasks to improve
Self-training classes. Yeah.
self-training?
For example, our other forms include reflection writing or self-assessment quizzes, for example, or tests different related to.
I mean, in order to improve speaking, not writing or some, yes, reflection.
In my from my experience, we used apps or
Apart from apps, yeah, apart from apps, other self-training tasks.
speaking with partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Answer question.
Yes.
Use interview.
Yes, interviews also or role play. Role play. Yes.
What about Australian underline?
Role play. They
Okay,
should.
thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, thank you for your presentation and answering the questions. You may take a seat. The next presenter will be Sheikh Bayrak Bakhtiarova, and his topic is the role of authentic materials in English classes. Please. You may also move to your practice main part, okay? Chapter 1.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ajay Murray. So, I'm presenting my thesis, the role of authentic materials in English classes. So, I'll discuss how authentic materials enhance English learning, focusing on their impact in Uzbekistan's classrooms. And so, nowadays the English language is global language, vital for instance international cooperation, and also my thesis explores authentic materials, real world texts like newspaper or movies, and their role in English teaching. And so, what are the authentic materials? Authentic materials are text scripts for native speakers, not learners, and like news and articles and films. So, the scientist Harmer defines them as real texts for native use, while we don't stress their role in exposing learners to natural language. And also, it includes some contests preparing students for real-world communication. And there are some advantages of the authentic materials, such as the first one, maybe motivation. Because authentic materials have key benefits, they motivate learners with engaging content. And also during the lessons, we use some mass media platforms, for example, podcasts, audio, and also videos. In that time, they attract to themselves, attract to students to this theme by using the mass media platforms, and also it's entertaining for students. And also there are some disadvantages for that. For example, for authentic materials, post challenge their complex language can overwhelm beginners, and also the next one maybe uh, time management, because during this during the lessons we use audio materials and also video materials. It's take more time, and we don't make it the in on time, yeah. So, and also types of authentic materials. So authentic materials come in main three forms. The first one, audio, like radio and podcast, and visual. It includes like videos or signs, and printed, like newspapers and articles. So,
Okay, so I would like to ask a question. Thank you for your presentation. So, where have you implemented, yes, your authentic materials in teaching? Where? Have you ever implemented it in your teaching methods?
okay. During my practice, in number 21 in Congress, I use some methods. For example, the method is I
So, you implemented this, yes?
Yeah.
Using authentic materials in Congress, yes?
Yeah.
School number
21. In that time, my study involved 23 intermediate students, and also using by the name Home Alone. And Home Alone because the movie is easy to understanding the beginners and also intermediate levels.
Okay. Do you have any criteria of choosing or selecting authentic material?
Criteria. So,
According to what we choose this authentic material for our teaching process?
So choosing authentic materials involves three criteria. For example, first one suitability, ensuring content engaging learners, and explorability. And also during this criteria, teachers must consider cultural relevance and ask if materials support communication or cultural exploration, and ensuring effective use. And also it can effective environments to every students and learners.
I have no question because he is very responsible and hardworking student.
Thank you, you may take a seat.
Thank you.
Our last presenter is the Dr. Aziza Ajmiyazina. Her topic is the ways of enriching learners' English vocabulary at school. Please, Aziza.
Good afternoon, dear members of examination committee and fellow students. My name is Berdah Aziza of group 404, and today I would like to present our diploma thesis on the theme, the ways of enriching learners' English vocabulary at school. Our research focuses on both theoretical and practical methods of teaching and of teaching vocabulary effectively. In theoretical part, we studied pedagogical and psychological characteristics of young learners, as well as as well as modern methods like games, total physical response, and multimedia tools. And I want to move to practical part. Um, in the theory, we studied how vocabulary works and which methods are most helpful. In practice, I used games, flashcards, group activities with first grade students to teach new words and observe the result. Our research is useful both in theory and real teaching. And we created a vocabulary program for fourth grade students using games and multimedia tools. I also explain how memory and interest helps kids faster and easier. During my practice time, I used videos, word wall, Kahoot, and PowerPoint quizzes. These tools made lessons more fun and effective. Students were more active and they remembered words better thanks to visual and sounds. Teaching vocabulary includes three parts: learning, practicing, and using. I used flashcards, songs, games, and physical actions. All of these help children understand and remember words better. And the important thing of our diploma thesis is the diagram. The diagram shows how students' vocabulary levels changed after the teaching program. Before the lesson, most students were struggle at vocabulary and were at below and average and below average. Only 2 students had high level and 4 students were below average, which means many had problems with vocabulary. After the program, which I used, the result improved a lot. 8 students reached a high level, 6 students became above average, only 1 student stayed at the average level. This shows that the new methods like videos, games, and flashcards and fun activities help students learn words better and feel more confident.
Okay, you may move to your conclusion. What was the results of your investigation?
In conclusion, using creative and interactive methods makes vocabulary learning fun and effective. If you use visuals, movements, and stories, children not only remember words but also use them in real life situations.
Have you got any questions?
And I want to say the aim of my diploma thesis.
Could you achieve the aim of your?
Yes.
Okay.
Aziza, how we can identify whether the learner's vocabulary skill is developed?
Vocabulary skills.
Ways of teaching their vocabulary skills at school development. So, we use some kind of methods, techniques during the teaching process, and then how we can identify whether their vocabulary skills is developed.
By checking how students understand and use new words. Because like recognizing words and using words and doing tasks maybe and giving feedback also. and playing games, and also testing them.
I have a question. To teach vocabulary, what kind of methods you have used?
Okay, thank you for your question.
Methods.
Okay. I use it during my practice time, visual aids, TPR method, total physical response, games, and games.
Total physical response methods, which level students more appropriate?
For primary school students.
For younger.
Yeah, for younger.
Okay, thank
Okay, thank you. You may take your seat. Diş lütfen, diş düşünün. Pardon,
Daha da
Her